Ladies and gents, and I'm going to share some thoughts on what is a rather misunderstood entry in Hitchcock's vast canon of work. I'm referring to the 1964 production of Marnie, starring his, at the time, muse, Tippi Hedren, and Sean Connery, who was then hot off the success of the James Bond series. This film has many detractors, and possibly for good reason. The film is not perfect. It is a flawed work, but it isn't as bad as you might think it is. I didn't used to like this one when I was younger when I watched it, but I have a, I think, deeper understanding of it now after watching it last night and watching the extra features on the Blu-ray edition, which is in the Hitchcock box set, by the way. The film features Tippi Hedren as the titular Marnie, who is a kleptomaniac who takes on job roles and steals from her employers, and then changes her identity and appearance, and then repeats the same pattern. She gets away with this a few times until she meets and gets employed by Mark Rutland, played by Connery. And quite why Sean Connery is playing an American aristocrat with his Scottish accent is kind of a mystery to me. But anyway, his charm sees the role through. He is a charming performer, and in the end, you just don't really care that he's got a Scottish accent. You just go along with it. Perhaps he had a Scottish governess or something, the American aristocrat that he plays. Anyway, she's working for him, and she robs his safe in one of the most suspenseful films of the movie, I think. It's just classic Hitchcock, the camera angles and everything. Just, even though the protagonist is doing something bad, we know that what she's doing is bad. You don't want her to get caught. She's like trying to escape the office, and there's a cleaning lady there. She's trying not to get seen, and we, the viewer, can see the shoe about to fall out of her pocket, and it falls to the ground, makes a huge sound. The cleaning lady doesn't turn around. Marnie gets away with it, and we learn later that the cleaning lady was deaf. It's such a great scene, and the way that Hitchcock just finds suspense in even the most seemingly normal, everyday situation. It's just a masterclass in directing. It's just, I just love the way he creates suspense like that. Instead of turning her into the police when he catches her, Mark blackmails her into marrying him. And there's a very controversial scene when he kind of rapes her on their honeymoon. And it is kind of an unsettling scene. And the original screenwriter for the movie, Evan Hunter, wanted to have this scene removed. He objected to the scene and begged Hitchcock to have it removed. The response from Hitchcock was to fire the writer from the project. And he hired another writer. I'll just look her name up here. The writer was J. Preston Allen, who was a woman. So it was actually a female who wrote the rape scene, and she didn't seem to have any issue with it. She didn't see it as anything controversial. But the original writer objected to it, and so he was removed from the movie. And the original writer's objection was that once the male character, played by Connery, has gone this far and taken this step and committed marital rape, then how can you possibly redeem the character and have him become sympathetic again after that? And Hitchcock thought that Sean Connery's charm as an actor would redeem him. Just his performance would make you forgive him. And I'm not sure if I agree with Hitchcock. A lot of people found the scene very uncomfortable, and I think I did too. Hedren does a really good performance in the role, though, as a woman who's troubled, has a lot of issues, terrified of men, and we find out why at the end, although I won't spoil the reason why. It's a heavy-handed kind of film, but she does do a very convincing portrayal as a kleptomaniac and a woman with a troubled past with men. Connery is good too. He does a good job, despite his kind of deliberately unlikable character. Like, he is manipulative towards her. And as a man, it is kind of uncomfortable to watch that. But he does well with the material he's given. A lot of people say it's not a very good Hitchcock film, and I don't know if I agree. It is a film which is flawed, but it has its merits. The story is quite interesting. It's based on a novel by Winston Graham, and it was kind of a vanity project for Hitchcock after his commercial successes before that with Psycho and The Birds and North by Northwest. Those were kind of big money spinners, and this one was like his pet personal project. His original choice for the title role was his muse Grace Kelly, but she had to decline as she was the Princess of Monaco by that point, and the public of Monaco probably wouldn't have been too happy with her playing this character, a thief, and so he ended up with Tippi Hedren, and the stories about what happened behind the scenes with her and Hitchcock are legendary. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I've heard a lot of rumours about his kind of ungentlemanly conduct towards her. So make of that what you will. There is a biography about that, a biopic, sorry. There's a 2012 movie called The Girl, starring Toby Jones as Hitchcock and Sienna Miller as Tippi Hedren, which details the kind of fallout behind the scenes. He wanted to fashion her into a movie star after seeing her in a drink commercial on television, and yeah, I think their relationship, he wanted a little bit more than just to have her on the screen, I think. And and unfortunately they never worked again after this film. Bernard Herrmann wrote the music for this film, and he does a good job as always, although the score is intrusive and jumps up really loudly sometimes. I had to turn my Blu-ray player down quite a lot. This was the last film that he would score with Hitchcock, because he was fired from the production after that, Torn Curtain, for a creative disagreement about the direction the score should go in. The studio wanted pop, and Herrmann disagreed, and was removed from the project. This movie is flawed, but the Blu-ray image is great for a movie of this time. I've got the Blu-ray, which comes in the box set. The picture quality scrubs up really well for a movie that's half a century old. The colours are good, although some scenes look a bit better than others. Sound is good. The special features are well worth watching. I really enjoyed the documentary, which helped me appreciate this film a bit more than I had before. Some of the matte paintings haven't aged well, and they show up quite badly on the Blu-ray, sorry. You can just tell they're matte paintings and not an actual location. Hitchcock didn't like shooting on location, so he preferred having backdrops and back projections and paintings, and they do look kind of dubious in this film. Like, it makes the film look a lot older than it is. But it's got good performances, a pretty good screenplay, and although heavy-handed at times, isn't a bad movie at all. Give it another look. I'll have some more Hitchcock for you soon. Until now, this is Adam Morton, signing out. Have a good day, everyone.